I'm HP and here gonna talk about the basic techniques of guitar playing. Not in detail, but that you understand. Technique is always the main thing because the technique, your playing technique is the connection between you and your guitar. And if you this is the major problem which occurs. A lot of people have a lot of talent. I mean, the talent, if you're a player or a musician, upcoming musician, the talent mostly is already there. It's the technique which really slows you down and really which takes time to learn. Now, since there are so many different techniques in guitar playing around, especially modern guitar playing, it's hard to say you have to learn this or that technique. Whatever technique you decide to choose, if you play it the first time, like the different techniques, like the most popular technique, of course, is playing with a pick. Pick should be a right angle to your thumb, and then either you strum chords. Strum chords, like with this alternate picking, or you play single note, also with this alternate picking technique. For me, it's like, I must say, I don't know, no, I don't want to say that now, but yeah. Good. Maybe I'll reveal the secret of the joke later, but not here because, yeah. Whatever. This thing is since it's a piece of plastic, for me or from other players, this feels a little bit unnatural. And if you have this feeling or it feels completely strange to you, then there are other possibilities, and you notice, like after a few weeks you're doing this, that this is really the technique which is your way of guitar expression or not. If it feels totally uncomfortable playing with the pick, then there are other possibilities. Other possibilities would be, or you can have different kind of strength of. And I think the best example for technique is Pat Metheny, because Pat Metheny, he has a very soft pick and he holds it the opposite. He plays it with the opposite part, and he doesn't even have a right angle to the thumb. It's totally unconventional, but it works. And he plays something like this. Yeah, so whatever comes up to you and feels good for you, do it. There's no 100% rule, do this or do that. So the other technique, and this is my preferred technique, would be finger picking. There are also different types of finger picking. You can play just with your thumb. If you play sing just with downstrokes, there are several people, or even famous people like Albert Collins used to play just only with the thumb, a blues player. Wes Montgomery, a jazz guitar player, just played with the downstroke thumb. Somehow it doesn't really matter whatever you do, it has to feel comfortable for you. Or what I really love to do is this kind of finger picking technique taken from Mark Knopfler a little bit, playing with the thumb on the low 2 or 3 strings, working with hammer and pull off, and then from the upper post, taking for classical, I use this alternate picking technique with index and middle finger, and just do like this. And work a lot with hammer and pull. Yeah, whatever you do, I mean, it's cool. And if you feel comfortable with it, and if it gets a connection to the guitar, your main thing is that you get a connection with the guitar, and therefore you need to feel comfortable with your technique. It doesn't make any sense to learn a technique which doesn't feel comfortable for you. A good example for me is, I'll show you this, playing chords with a pick, like single note lines. For some of you, this is my very easy stuff. But believe me, this is the only technique which I never ever felt comfortable with. And if I make a mistake in today's playing level, it's exactly on this playing technique. If I don't have to, I don't use it. Yeah, that's a good example. When I want to do stuff like this, I found other ways which that feels much better to me than with a pick. So this is about technique. I mean, I also do the touch technique. Some might have noticed that already. And the fun, maybe you cannot understand this because I'm previously a piano player. This technique felt very comfortable to me from the beginning. If it's not for you, you will feel it after a few weeks. If you can control yourself as well, or your teacher, your local teacher might notice that you have difficulties in really getting techniques like this. But whatever you do, that's the main thing. So I hope you enjoyed my little ideas about picking technique or techniques in general.